Right, next up, another RX-5 build we started on already, and we've done some modifications as well, and we're doing some changes in the chassis. We're now making the chassis where we've got aluminium plates, which have just gone off a powder coat actually, aluminium instead of steel in these footwell panels, which will be supplied ready laser cut with the holes in ready for you to drill and fit, and powder coat rather than the welded in sections, because we're trying to do a one chassis fits all. We're doing this through part of the process. So these side panels here all been drilled ready, waiting for them to come back to powder. We've also now done all branding in the steering rack to make it look a bit nicer and tidier, with a new laser cut part with a logo in there, so you really can't mistake who makes this car. It's quite handy actually. A few other little tweaks and modifications with some new laser cut parts in the chassis that we're trying to do, always looking to develop in build quality and fit and finish and everything else that we do. It's never going to stop, always ticking off the boxes. So we've put in now, the fuel lines have started to go in. We've got to finish the front section once the panels go in. Brake lines have gone in with our billet pedal box now. Some of you have probably seen this 100 times because you follow us, but if you haven't, it's the first time you're seeing us. These are our pedal boxes with billet aluminium, really nice, and brake bias adjustable and spring loaded accelerator, looks smart. Laser cut floor pans have gone in, and now we're into diff. So this was out of a Donor Mazda. We've stripped it, we shot blasted it, and we've painted it and done it all nice and welded it up, braced it here. And then we've gone with the fuel pump from the standard Mazda into one of our tanks, and the fuel pump had some modifications, and the new way that we bracketed down with these stronger brackets as well, they've gone in. We're going to have the new roll bar that's going on as well, which is a slightly taller bar. This one's going on, we've just done a trial fit with this particular one. That's all in, and then we'll do something with the fuel cap. This is just in it at the moment. We're just temporarily trying something else that we're going to be modifying and playing around with. But yeah, bushes, all of those are in. So if you're looking at it, how do you bolt your diff in? Well, it's one big bolt, two big bolts, and the additional laser cut bracket we put round just in that side there. That also, if you go aftermarket, when the pop shop come out, this is where you attach your speedo. It goes right in there, and you can have the magnets or pickup points on your drive shaft. So yeah, that's sort of coming together, and this is going to be a turbo car. I think it's going in blue, funny enough. Blue seems to be the choice of colour these days. It's going to be straight away for sale. So if you're looking for a Mazda car turbo, we're doing the engine right now. If you're looking one that you want to get into and you think, oh, are we at that stage where I might want to tweak a few things, get in now, come and speak to us, because we're doing that and it's going to go straight out for sale, that particular one. Engine's been gone through, and we've refreshed it all. It's having the turbo manifold, all the bits we're just refreshing. It's having new seals, new everything else. Compression test on this engine was brilliant, but we have gone through it, making everything all nice and clean, shiny. Just waiting for the sump, which we're doing just to put on now. That's being modified as we speak to do the lowered version on it all as well. So yeah, don't take much. Just a little bit of titivating, cleaning, detailing, checking, gaskets, new cam belt, new water pumps, everything's gone through on it. Make sure she's all good. So yeah, valve stem, oil seals, all of the little bits, you know, the stuff to refresh an engine to make it as good as we can. And we'll put a TD04 turbo and it'll be around 230 horsepower, somewhere around there. So this particular car will be up for sale. If you want to know about it, or you want to come down and see it at this stage, and you think, how much, what do you want to spend, where you want to be, but you want a turbo car, there's some tweaks we can do at the moment. Obviously once it's built, but it's just easier if we're doing now that you get into it. And yeah, go and have some fun, because summer is coming. Look at it out there, Lewis, look at that sunshine. Right for a MK Sportscars today. The next car that we're actually building that's going to be up for sale, so we're part way through the build, so you will have some say in it if you was interested in buying one that's already started. As you can see, we've gone through the engine, that's all done, that's refreshed. It's got a TD04 13T turbo on here, so it's a Mazda MX-5 1.8 engine, Mark II, 98 to 2000 again, and we've got the manifold, the turbo all in. We've got the gearbox in there. It's a 5-speed gearbox on this particular one. All there, you can see the management is all going in, all brand new wiring looms right over through, and all the corners are all Mazda running gear, and these have all been refurbished as well, new bearings, new everything, powder coated, shot blasted, new discs on the rear uprights, front uprights and rear uprights have all been completely refurbished. Radiator and intercooler pack, all brand new components. The only donor components really on these now is like the steering column, the brakes, the front uprights, engine, gearbox, prop, diff, drive shafts and rear uprights and the fuel pump. Really, that's everything else we put on is brand new. So fuel tanks, all new, brand new Protect shocks on here, cross drilled and grooved vented discs on there, and we're sort of part way through the build. So it's interesting for people to see how we do the process, and you can come and see this if you're really into this but you haven't got the time to build one yourself at home. This one's been built, you can just put your stamp on it now, but we've got the billet pedal box all in there as well. Right, yeah, so with the colour on this particular one, we've gone for a very nice blue actually, not something we've done before. So that's going to be the colour that we've put on there at this particular moment in time, which is going to look really nice. Undecided on the stripe colours and things like that, and that can be down to you as an individual. This currently won't be on our website for sale, so hook us up with phone call, email, or come and see us at the factory on this particular model that we're building if you're really, really interested. Let's show you what's going on with this. This is a RX-5 build, so it's the MK RX-5, all Mazda running gear. If you've not tuned in before or seen us, I'll talk you through what it is, so you give you a feel. You think, I want to build one of them. Well, take an MX-5 Mark II or Mark 2.5, so that's 98 to 2005. Our chassis now running gear that rests it up makes it builds into one of these cars really. But where we are with this particular one, so we stripped all the donor parts, reconditioned them all, shot blasted, powder coated, whatever we needed to do. And I'll start at the front end here. So all of the corners, these are the Mazda uprights, has a new bearing carrier on these, so they come as a sealed unit, already done, with the studs in. We've reconditioned the calipers, all powder coated, and then all our front wishbones and assembly is our AA arm wishbone with the inboard push rod suspension all linked up. Bolted onto each corner here, so we've got the wing stays that we try and make. These are pretty strong actually, bolting off of the top caliper bolt and the main bottom universal joint there, which is still the Mazda one we use, and we use our own one here, an M14 up the top to make the fitment, because you can't use the standard Mazda one. This then links up into our headlight bracket as our lens and indicator for IVA compatibility. And then the steering rack, which is bolted in here, this is a 2.4, so 2.4 full lock to lock on this. So it's quite a quick rack, really. For the road, certainly wouldn't want much quicker. I thought we do a 2.2, but that's more racetrack orientated, but a 2.4 rack on there. And then on here, we've got the nice drilled and grooved and vented. So these are standard Mazda discs that we use with these calipers, and you can upgrade these to a wheelwood with 4-pot brake if you want. But these are more than sufficient for stopping this car, because we're talking just over 500 kilos, whereas the Mazda's what? Just over a tonne. So it's half the weight, plenty of braking power for a non-servo assisted system. Moving along, under here it's hidden unfortunately, but is the Protect aluminium shock absorbers onto our rocker system. You can see it from the inside there. With our spring poundage, we use a 325 pound spring on these particular setups, and then we do different things with the suspension for depending on it's track or road orientated. Got a nice big 70mm core radiator on here, especially as we're going turbo, which we'll talk about in a minute, and our front mount intercooler with all our bracketry that we laser cut, and it allows us to mount down here the intercooler, and also for its ducting. It's a ducting kit that pushes it all through here, so it helps duct through here, and then we put this particular top mount in because the air filter will sit in this area, so it just gives it a bit of a cold air intake and stops the process of the warm air getting to it. Got exactly the same on the other corner that's designed for the same setup for the Mazda setup, and so you can see it's all reconditioned and done. Now moving along into the engine bay. So engine done about 80 something thousand miles, but it was refreshed. We checked it all, compression tested it all new seals and gaskets right the way through. It's got an uprated down in here. We've got an uprated clutch and a lightened flywheel in there as well. It really does help these engines where it's such a lightweight car, where you're not worried about motorway cruising, where you want to maintain speeds with the heavier flywheel. We want this thing to rev up and be quite nice and a loose fist lightweight sports car. We want it to pick up the RPM. So we've got that mated to a standard Mazda 5-speed gearbox on this. You can use the 6-speed or the 5 speeds, more than sufficient for this. Mounted here we've got our manifold for a turbo, which is, this turbo is a TDO4 13T, so it's the smaller turbo. We can do a 19T, but for stock internals, which this is a stock engine, we'll aim to run maximum probably 12 psi on this. Should give us in the region of, we normally aim for about 230 horsepower. It'll probably be just over 200 foot-pounds of torque. But again, when you're mapping these in stock, you don't want too much low down torque. You start bending rods and things like that. But as long as you map them right, then it will take it all day long. It will take a right old beating. These are great little engines. We haven't done a reroute kit, which you can do. We've kept it standard. Sometimes you can do it, but it's going to be a road car. It's not focused on track, this one. We've got to link up the pipe works here and that for the header tank, but all of that's done. Engine's been done. We've powder coated, shot blasted. All the plenum's been done. In here, just a tuck down, is the injectors. We've got a 640cc EV14 injectors in there. And then we've got all the throttle cable linked up here. It's a nice short cable. It's only 1 metre long. Gives it a nice feel. Linked to our billet pedal box, which is down here. So you've got a nice spring return. It's nice feel to it. You've got a spring up here, but also a spring on the pedal box. So these work. They're not lazy at all on their return. And again, you've got your bias adjustable billet pedal box. Steering column. It's all your Mazda stuff that we modify. There's a part section we modify off the bottom here, and then we lengthen the steering rod, which is this part here. It's a collapsible part, which is for IVA, so you need that in there. And on the other side, moving round, we move round off of the exhaust system coming off here. This is our link pipe that we have. This is designed for right-hand drive vehicles only. It doesn't fit a left-hand drive. It's a different one for that. It's a bit more tricky to fit, but you just the right-hand drive one. That sits in the same hole as if you're running the standard exhaust system. So what's going to be powering and running it all is going to be the Motorsport Electronics 360 ECU. That comes with a brand new loom, and it's got all our auxiliary loom, brand new one, all wired in. And then we just got the map sensor, and we've got with things like this, which are the battery leads just putting in there as well, all loose. Got things like this, which is the oil pressure gauge. We've got running 2 separate engine. We run in that off of just under here. Under the plenum is a 1/8 MPT takeoff. We put that into there, and then we run the sump. We run the temperature in the sump just to give us a bit more accurate reading. Coolant lines, brake lines, all that's done through. And then in here, just this boot cover that will be fitted next. It's got the prop shaft and the Mazda, which we take and modify and shorten as an exchange service with you as the customer with a handbrake. All done. Now we've fitted the side panels and the rear colour, a rear tub on this particular one now with the side seals in this really nice blue. Actually, we've not done blue. What do you think, guys? Thumbs up? Do you like it? I think it's, every time we bottle panel on, we're like, like that. It's going to have black corners. I think it's going to look quite striking, actually, the blue and the black. It's going to come out really nice. It is gel coat. It's not painted, so it's very durable. You ain't got to worry about painting. If you damage a panel, we can replace it in the same colour. And it's just mounted here. You've got 2 bolts we use here. You get a couple of options in doing this. We put riv nuts in, only because if you damage a wing, you can take it off and put it back on easier. And just the large head rivets to hold it on in that section. You've got exhaust silencer in. This is 6-inch silencer here. More than compatible, only about 93, 94 decibels. They're very, 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 very quiet, actually. Brakeman decibels for IVA is 99, so it's well under that. Not a problem at all. Moving on to the rear, if you haven't seen before, we've got independent suspension on the rear. Completely, it's our bespoke system with the Mazda diff and the Mazda rear uprights. So the Mazda diff, we've put the bracing in. Here, it's strengthened. It's known for cracking on this point just there that's got the big splodge in. We don't have any issues once they're welded up at all. You've got the fuel filter off your Mazda and the fuel pump we use off the Mazda as well, mated to our tank that we use. Standard Mazda drive shafts, they're all in, they're reconditioned. In fact, that's a brand new one. I think we've got some brand new shafts in stock at the moment. If you're looking for brand new drive shafts, we've got about 4 or 5 of those in stock. And then Reconditioned the rear brakes, brand new discs, rear new, these have been shot blasted, powder coated, new bushes and new bearings in there. And of course our go-to supplier, Protect shocks, all in there, and we run a £250 spring on the rear. Then we've got a high roll bar. We do two options. We do this bar and we do a slightly lower one that drops just under here. This is a taller bar that is basically the rear of our roll cage. So, and we put all the fixes in for the roll cage if you want to bolt them at a later date. It's not a problem. So the rear end's all together, all the fuel lines, brake lines, and we've even put the fuel filler cap in here as well, which is nice and neat and tidy, angled into the top of the tank with the tank strap. So it's making sure when you're doing this, making sure everything's nice and tight, nothing's going to move, nothing's going to move around. Make sure that it's within 300 mil every sort of fixing point maximum. We tend to basically go a thing that is just over 200 we try to stick to. Any wiring, cables, fuel lines, all of that, make sure they're all in those fixing points. And we've got these little saddle bushes in to hold the loom. So if you don't want to get to it, you can cut the cable tie, take it out, fix it, put it all back together. So that's all in, and then it'll be finally we'll be putting in the boot cover, which is this one. It's a nice carbon one that we do. Fits over the roll cage, nice and neat. That'll be going on next. Got the holes marked in, ready for it all. That's a fit with some poppers. That'll be nice and easy to do. And then it's really fitting the rest of the body panels, and then we'll be on with the coolant lines and the intercooler lines next. So yeah, she's coming together really, really nicely actually. And I'm really a big fan of this blue. We wasn't sure, we've not done one. Every panel that gets bolted on, as I said, I really, really enjoy it. And then its rear wings have been done, just doing the light pack on them as well. So this one's going to be out for sale though. So you could be the first owner and proud owner of this car. It's going to be 230 horsepower at least, I would have said on this particular one, depending on what boost setting we put in it. Dashboard's all done here. It's all done, ready, packed up in here. That's all done, and we're just going to be putting in an oil pressure gauge and oil temperature gauge in there. That's all ready to mount and fixed up, all the fixings done for it, running the standard clocks and the columns. So yeah, if you're interested in this or building an RX-5 at home, because you can build this kit at home. Here's one here, let me show you. Don't want to do it on its own, but there's one just there. Customer's built it, we've just done some ticking boxes on it. Really nice build, fully finished car, and it's only IVA'd the other day, first time pass. So cracking little build. This could be in your garage, ready for springtime or summer. So hook us up with phone call, email. Come and see us at the factory. I'd love you to come and see, maybe be intricate part of this if you want to get involved in it. And we could talk to you what the build is, the prices and everything else, the specifications and what we're doing. Right, hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Director and MK Sportscars. Going to talk you through the bit of a build progress that we've been working on with the RX-5 Turbo. So this one's going to be up for sale, 23,995 is going to come up. It will be IVA, road legal and registered. But I've got to talk you through where we've got up to so far. So if you've been following it as an individual thread, then we can sort of talk you through it. So it's nice to see if you buy this car, you've got a nice little build video on it as well. So now we've got things that weren't on last time. So we've got the cup nose cone, which is looking rather sharp in the blue, got to say. Got nice quick release Zeus fasteners here, two, one either side and two, which you can't see underneath. But it all fits into the laser cut framework for the intercooler here. So it mounts and holds the intercooler and also has a nose cone. Really, really solid. It almost picked the car up with that. Grills have all been done. And we like them, looks really clean and sharp actually, and it's going to have a stripe, but you'll have to wait for that because it's not on there. But yeah, it's that's going to have a stripe pack on it, and we're making some decisions on that. It's going to be a two-tone affair, we know that. Wings, so these have been bonded on. Now the wing stays are bent. These are for a 13-inch wheel with a 205 tyre and a 24 offset, and then you've got your vented cross drilled and grooved. Disc on here and the wings all bonded on. They're double bonded, so we do a first fix with a bead across here, drop it on overnight, masking tape, let it set, and then go in with your second fix. I think we've done a video on that before. Second fix underneath. Rubber glove, very liquid, it's definitely your friend. Smear it all over, gets a nice smooth finish, and then they're on. They're pretty strong, and you know, you can do 120 miles an hour and it's not going to be a problem. They stay on superbly. Indicators and all that, it's all been wired up. So we've got the headlights with the indicators mounted underneath here. Moving back, in fact I'll show you before we go there. Let's talk about moving back, but I'll show you, because the electrics, all of them wired in now, all the accessories are all done. So we've got sides, dip, main, do the indicators while we're there. No, that one's not wired in, is it, Lewis?
No.
Huh?
No, rear's working.
Rear's working, we're not wired them ones in yet, so obviously, so that's the next job to tick off the list. Look, we've got a list over there on the board that we're doing. Yeah, there we go. All the bits we've got to do. That's quite comical, isn't it? See, even I slip up. And in the engine bay here, everything's been done, and we sort of haven't put the bulkhead on. Bulkhead is there, all mounted, ready to go. Battery, the new battery bracket that we've done. I'll show you that while we're there. So for the battery resupply, we've got a new battery bracket, which is laser cut with logos in, and header tank and an oil catch tank we've fitted here. Moving on to the interior, fitted the dashboard's all been fitted with the instruments. I showed you that the other week, but that's all fitted with now with the pedal centre tunnel top, the carbon ones. Gear knob with the MK branding on it we've got there, all nice and neat with the handbrake, nice and neat and tidy. And then you've got seats harnesses, and steering wheel with the IVO collapsible boss. So you've got to have the IVO collapsible boss, and then we've got the wire hanging out here just for wiring up the horn button. All the binnacle's been cut round around the dash, and you can cover this little bit up here because it sits a little bit short, which is a little bit annoying. We'll do something with that, we'll tidy it up, and then you've got your two hazard buttons which are working there, and your fog light, which isn't wired in because it's here. And the reason we haven't fitted that, we're going to fit the stripe first. So we fit the stripe on the back, and then we'll fit this. So this is your little all-in-one. So it's a clear lens, fog light, E-marked for IVA, and in the top here is your little LED number plate light. Very compact. We've done all the wiring ready to run through once we fit it. So a couple of little fixings for that, but it's really neat and tidy. It looks really sharp on the back of the car because it's not intrusive. I like the cars to look really clean at the back end. So that's all in. All done, and then moving around to the back, we've got the matching carbon boot cover, LED light pack, which we'll throw on again. Let's just throw that on. The lights and the hazards, they're all working on the rear. And then again, IVA compatible, making sure that these fit the criteria of minimum and maximum heights. We've buttoned up the back end already. We showed it in the last video. And that's all done, so we're pretty much there. With all of this, and it's silly little things like making sure you've got your tip over breather valve, making sure you've got your earth strap on your fuel tank, and sharp edges like here, our little witches hats that we use. But the harnesses, A, it matches, B, it's nice and clean and tidy, and it stops them rattling, and of course it stops sharp edges protection. So this has got the higher roll bar on it. We do two options. We do this height, so if you're a taller gentleman like Lewis, who's behind the camera, who's 6 foot atoll, two, I think. 6'2". I'm 5 foot something-ish short. And I would go for the lower one because it's 50 mil lower, so it more or less sits there. Comes down, sorry, here, and the same hole for your boot cover, so you don't have to change that in any way. So body panels all on now, scuttle, side panels, and the bonnet is done. In fact, we'll give you a little quick preview. Look, all lined up. And again, the bonnet catches are there, but you do need, for IVA, you can fit them afterwards, but for IVA you have to have a little rubber cover to go over them because they're classed as a sharp implement. Now the exhaust was all fitted, which is down here at the moment. That was all fitted, we've taken it off again, just because we've done a complete mock-up, cut the hole, and now we're just going to do the side stripes. It's just easier to fit those things with it's not on. It's literally a V-band clamp away from fitting it, so it's this V-band clamp and it's away. But I quite like the blue. I think it looks really strong with the black, and then I think we're going to do some kind of two-tone stripe with black in it in some way, and I think that's going to look sharp. And then it's been on the ground, we've done the geo on this as well, we put it on the ground, we've done the geo, wheels are off because it got back up in the air, and then we're hoping to get our new ones, which I'll show you here. I think that's going to look stonking, really set the car apart. Let me turn it so we can get a little glimpse of it. Here we go. Let's put that around there, look. Thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. Here we go. Let's put it on there. And they ain't got the tyres, so it don't look as sharp, but here we go. It's a lovely looking wheel. I love a polished rim on a wheel. I don't know why, it just seems to make the wheel pop more. With the MK branded logo badges in the centre there. Looking super strong. So yeah, they're going to be landing. So if you want to get yourself a set of these, pre-orders on those at the moment, they are literally arriving in June. I think it's near the end of June because it's on the water. It takes a while to get here. But they're all done, made, looking rather sharp. Can put the CXRs on as well, but the new wheel with us, I think, is just something a little bit different. So there we go, one Mazda Turbo RX-5. I'm going to say about 90% done. Next thing's going to be wiring the bits up, oil feed for the turbo, priming it, some coolant lines, and then we'll be able to go to fire. First fire and run it up. So yeah, it's about 90% done. If you're interested in this build, you think that is exactly what I want for the summer, hook us up, phone call, email, come and see us at the factory, see what we're doing, and it can be yours and in your garage or on your driveway. As soon as you go, yes, I want it. Let's move on to a car engine car. Now, if you was at Malvern, you would have seen this car on our stand, and wearing its new livery. Got its new stripes. It's earned its stripes because I think it looks really, really stunning. Lots of compliments on the show about A, the colour, and B, the stripe combination that we've done on it, which is, it's not red, it may come out red on the thing, but it is actually an orange. Looks really cool. So if you're first time viewers, this is the MK RX-5. It's the Mazda based kit running Mark II or Mark 2.5 running gear. And this one here though has been spiced up a little bit because it's got a little turbocharger on it. So this has got a TD04 turbo, 13T. Engine's been gone through nicely, got a 5-speed gearbox, running Motorsport Electronics ECU and management, brand new looms all the way through. It's going to make probably anything between 220 and 250, depending where you're mapping them and everything else. We normally keep them on wastegate. It will be somewhere near the 230 horsepower, so we're only going to run it on wastegate on a stock engine, which will be plenty. It's all been mapped for emissions. We've done that because this is off to IVA very, very shortly, but beautiful car. We know they drive so nice, that really compliment on the road, very compliant, plenty of power with that. You'll probably have in excess of 200 foot-pound of torque. Nice interior, super nice and clean, which is what we like. Again, stock dashboard, but they look really cool with our standard dash. We've got a couple of nice instruments in here, which is your oil pressure and oil temperature, and all your standard stuff for the Mazda, which is on there. And it's nice and easy to drive, and a horn in the centre like normal. So what more is not to like, really? And then moving on, you've got the nice LED pack and the MK stripes on the rear as well. So I think the car overall looks really, really strong. Just complements it nice, billet pedal box, nice wheels, Nankang tyres on this particular one. It's a full-on package ready for you to drive away once this gets registered, or you could be the first registered owner. 23,995, 230 horsepower, 560 kilos. What is not to like? This thing will be a weapon. So hook us up, phone call, email here at MK Sportscars, or best, come and see us at the factory. Come and sit in the car, have a look around it. We could talk you through it.